I know some of you are going to groan when you hear this name, but it was the feature editorial piece in the Wall Street Journal yesterday afternoon. Karl Rove writing here, is Trump trying to lose the midterms? Karl Rove writes he spent much of his first year back in office undermining his political interests. And Karl Rove wrote here in part about Greenland. As puzzling as his mishandling of immigration is, and his point for that is Trump's done a great job closing down the border, but he may be doing too much when it comes to ICE. Now, I would argue that first off, he's got to clean up the mess of the prior guy, okay? And yes, there have been some missteps along the way, right? There have been. I saw there was some guy up in Minneapolis who's actually a South Asian who got dragged out of his house because there was a misunderstanding as to who he was, and the license plate that his car was connected to was a misrepresented identity. Yes, I agree that is an instance and a situation where there was an overreaction. I agree. And it's a bad look. And that's the stuff that always gets the headlines, right? Not the 99.9% that ICE is doing well. It's the 0.1% that they might screw up. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't use those opportunities as a way to try to improve on their screw-ups and not make their mistakes. But my goodness, every president doesn't start with a blank slate. They enter office and it's hey, this is what the last guy did, and we got to fix this. So you have to look at it through that prism. You can't just look at it through every president starts at zero and then they get to do what they want to do. When you have the last guy who had 10 to 15 million people crossing illegally, a lot of them you don't know who they are, and some of them committed serious acts of violence once they were here, you have a duty to your citizens to remove them. And if these cities allowed ICE to go into their jails, this would be a much more seamless process. Tom Homan has made this point time and time again. If we could just quietly go into jails and talk to the people who have already been arrested by these local police departments, and then go through person by person and say, hey, is there someone here who committed a crime that you guys arrested him for that who also needs to be deported? We can take care of that. We can help you. You don't have this stuff going on the streets. You don't. And that's been totally lost in the conversation. So that was part one of how I think Karl Rove totally misrepresented this piece. Not that Trump doesn't have problems. I mean, I would project right now that the Republicans will lose the House in the midterms. That's just my prediction sitting here today. But then he goes on the right. As puzzling as his mishandling of immigration is, Mr. Trump's insistence that for national security, Denmark must surrender Greenland. For weeks, he made it sound as though he might even invade, clarifying on Wednesday morning that he won't go to war with a NATO ally. That he threatened so long to use force hasn't endeared him to voters. 86% of Americans oppose taking Greenland by force, including 68% of Republicans and 94% of independents. And they're right on. By the way, I agree with that. I don't think that we should be invading Greenland. But here's the other thing, Karl Rove. I never thought we were going to invade Greenland. I mean, Karl Rove should know better. He's supposedly a political genius. Trump was never going to invade Greenland. This is right out of the art of the deal. I'm going to threaten a million different things. I'm going to shoot for the stars. And then I'm going to settle for where I actually want to be. And that's what you saw yesterday. Right as this piece drops from Karl Rove, Trump is hey, we've got a deal here. The NATO guys are on board. It looks like Denmark's going to be on board. Greenland's happy. It looks like, according to the New York Times, what they want to do is try to get specific strategic parts of Greenland and build military bases there. And that's really about protection from Russia. It's not about taking it over. It's not about making it the 51st state. But Trump starts all the way down the road knowing full well his end goal is back in the middle. And this has been going on, for years with this guy. So if someone called me up, right, in a poll and said, hey, Pete, do you want to take Greenland by force? Do you think that's good policy to take Greenland by force? No, I don't. but I never thought that's what was going on here. Like, I never thought Trump was going to show up on the icy shores of Greenland and be like, all right, we're here. We got the military. We got our battleships. Come on, that's never what was going to happen. So it's like two separate questions. One, do I support the idea of it? No, I don't. And most people didn't. But I think most people who have followed this guy and his political career understood that, like, he was even joking about it last week. What's the Greenland military? Couple of dog sleds? What were we going to do with the military? That would have been weird. It would have been like the NBA All-Star team showing up to St. Mary's School for the Blind and being like, hey, we're going to play a basketball game here. Good luck. There's nothing there. So for Karl Rove to be like, Trump's totally misplayed this thing on Greenland, I think if Karl Rove is being honest with any of this, how you actually look at it is you say the end result appears to be exactly what he wanted, but he did all his Trump bluster stuff because that's how he negotiates. And if you don't like that stylistically, okay, that's your prerogative. But what you really should do is look at the end result and question whether or not the end result is in the best interests of our country, because that's what really matters. And that's what this is all about. Wes in Gladstone, you're on KCMO. What's up, Wes?
Yeah, Pete, let's cut to the chase. Karl Rove, you can kiss my ass.
Whoa. Come on. What?
Come on, Pete. Spin doctors like him have been selling us out for years, man. I mean, look at his boy Bush. He'd go over to Europe and he'd grovel. Oh, boy, I'm scared to piss anybody off. Trump's over there telling them we're the United States. We're not trying to be a bully, but if you don't like it, tough, because we're the United States.
All right.
And 99.9% of what he's doing with ICE isn't good enough for Rove. Go to hell, Rove.
Man.
What a bunch of crap, man. And,
all right. Easy.
Pete. So, yeah, we were going to invade Greenland. We just sold Denmark a bunch of arms.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, hey, Rove, if I can find that on the internet, you're too lazy to do that. Like I said, he can kiss my ass.
All right. Well, you said it once. Now you have to say it twice for good luck, I guess. All right, Wes.
That's because I'm fired up, baby.
All right.
You got me fired up this morning.
All right. Hang tight. That wasn't just hang tight there, Wes. Hang tight, buddy. Jeez, Mark's going to have to hit the dump button here pretty soon.
It's close.
Just relax. Easy does it.
People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Oof. Got them all fired up there. All right. Wes is mad because we got the snow and the cold coming, too. I think that's what he's upset about.